Tonight you're just going to be reviewing formulas, and tomorrow I will show you what you're going to do with the formulas. So for our first example up here, we're making a tree map. We have a square. P stands for perimeter. And to find the perimeter, we can add up all the sides, or we just do 4 times S because all the sides are the same. So for this one, we have 4 times 5, which equals 20 centimeters. Sorry about the bell, guys. For area, area is length times width. And I always do a cursive L because if I do a regular L, it looks like a 1. So for a square, we know the length and the width are the same. So that's 5 times 5. Or it could be side squared is how some people like to write it. S squared, to find area of a square. So for this one, 5 times 5 is 25 centimeters. And remember, this is squared. Area is always in squared measurements. For a rectangle, perimeter is side plus side plus side plus side. But if we notice, opposite sides are the same. So instead, we say 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So for this example, I have 2 times 7.3 plus 2 times 3.2. And when I stick that in my calculator, 7.3, gotta turn it on, 7.3 times 2, I get 14.6 plus 6.4. And when I add those together, I get perimeter equals 21 inches. Now the area is the same as with the square. It's length times width. So for this one, I've got 3.2 times 7.3. So 3.2 times 7.3, I get 23.36 inches squared. Parallelogram, perimeter, just like with the rectangle, opposite sides are the same, so I can use that same formula. 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So for this one, I get 2 times 3 point, oh, no, wrong one. Don't use the 3.5. 2 times the 4 plus 2 times the 6. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 12. So my perimeter here is 20 meters. Now area is not length times width. We call it base times height. And just like these, the length and the width always make a right angle. So the base and the height of a parallelogram, I got to find the 2 lines that make a right angle. And right now it's this dotted line and this line. So this is the base and the height is that one. But it really doesn't matter because you're multiplying them. But you always want to find the 2 lines that make a right angle. So for this parallelogram, my base is 6 meters times my height, which is 3.5. And when I put that into my calculator, I get 21. So my area for this is 21, oh, sorry guys, 21 meters squared. I don't know why it gave me that blue box. There we go. Or it's acting up. Now trapezoid, perimeter is just side plus side plus side because these sides are not always the same. But we're not going to focus on that today. We're going to focus on the area. And the area here is a little bit tricky. I'm going to write it up here so you can see it. It's base 1 plus base 2 because the bases of a trapezoid are not the same measurements. So that's why we have to add them together. Times the height, all divided by 2. So for this one, base 1 plus base 2 times the height, all divided by 2. Just like a parallelogram, a rectangle, and a square, we're looking for the right angle. So right here, with this line, I have my right angle, and with this one. So these 2 are my bases because they're across from each other, and this is my height. So I've got a base 1 and a base 2. It doesn't matter which is the base as long as it's one of them because we're adding them together. So for this example, I've got 5 plus 12 times my height, which is 3.5, all divided by 2. 5 plus 12 is 17 times 3.5 divided by 2 17 times 3.5 gives me 59.5 divided by 2, 29.75. So I'm going to squeeze it over here. So area equals 29.75 feet squared. Now our last shape is a circle, and it doesn't have a perimeter, it has a circumference. And if you remember from last year, the formula is pi times d, and d stands for the diameter. Area is pi times r squared. This is the radius. Half the distance is the radius. So if the radius is 6, then my diameter is double that, which is 12. So for pi, I'm going to use 3.14 times the diameter, which is 12. Put that in my calculator, and I get 37.68. And that's meters. Now for the area, I need pi, which is 3.14. My radius is 6, but I need to square it. Remember, PEMDAS tells me to square first. So I've got 3.14 times 36. Put that in my calculator, and I get 113.04 meters squared, because area is always squared. Now tomorrow we're going to do a little bit more with that. We're going to tie in multi-step equations with formulas. So we have to kind of learn these formulas. See you tomorrow.